to cast this thing. But yeah, I might as well just already say, because you're gonna hear me talk about it, but so auto skip is on now, even though we've been used to lately right clicking to. Alright, we're just gonna say best of 5, even though they probably know the drill, but sometimes people buys whatever. But yeah, so right clicking, we're used to skipping, but now because we have auto skip enabled, it changes from director cam to auto cam, and so now we gotta break the habit of right clicking, and so it's an adjustment. This team has one of my favorite logos they forget. Well, you better remind them. But welcome in, everyone, to this late 10 p.m. cast of TV2. We stepped up a bit. We are into the GC3-1900 era of the progressive tier, and is week 2 as well. But Lost Tempest has an early challenge. 4 minutes though remaining, still scoreless. And oh, they forget. All right, it's different. Different as Bust gets the score. So different sentences, but appreciated. I almost skipped there, but yeah, they forget best of 5. All right, then it's good. Sometimes I'm like, oh, they probably know, but I guess we can't hurt to mention again. Those SP Spectra strike first on the board, but Flame Intruder has some dangerous ability in the air. Plenty of options, fake, continue going, but like the setup. Nope, better defense on Spectra's side. And Bus has a net to shoot at, but immediately challenged. Nice defense from Boost Goblins. But hanging around, trying to bump as 2 players backboard. Sprinkle. Flip reset. But Bus gonna take control. A nice little extra touch. However, now Flame can take possession. And staying with it nicely. And they're still looking for their opening. But what an own goal, perhaps. And that's how you treat 2 aggressive players. When they're too aggressive, but facing their own net, that's how you get those own goals. And Boost Goblins will happily take that one. Trying that wide angle. We're almost at halftime. It seems like this game has flown by. But 1-1. Goals have not been super easy to come by. Might be another own goal. Say it ain't so. I don't. If that happened, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Kind of feel bad for the player at that point. But a great save. I mean, we didn't even question if that was being saved. Saved all day, and nice control, but you're seeing some great defense in this series. And like we said, goals are hard to come by. Ever more evident from these players showing what they're capable of. But Lost Tempest trying to keep it close. Good separation and a chance. They have the numbers. Sprinkle, though, avoiding the demo. Gonna turn a little bit. And high ball. Well taken care of. Flame there. Trying to 50. Trying to force something. Sprinkle almost beats out and does not get that boost. Looks like had it, but ripped away. And Bust. Not going to be on target, but still being lethal. And trying to fight. And also, just so interesting to see the mind games, how it goes. When do you go? When do you not? When's your chance to strike? And almost a chance there, a little bit off. And those back passes can be useful, but also risky. Flip reset. Sprinkle has that unlocked. Can he get control? Can he get a shot? Has the bump, but the angle is too tough. And you like the numbers in their advantage, and to take full advantage of that, but you see the pressure of time running out to put a shot on. But Flame, good turnaround to 50. A lot of effort to do so. But 10 seconds left. Are we going OT? Or does this end right here? 50 out. Lost. Good control. And almost the last second. But Bus can possibly put a shot. Didn't want to risk it. OT. Does it end in a kickoff goal? But boost grab. Possible bump attempt, but back and forth, and this one should be taken care of. And it is, but separation. And this is going to be a tough read for Flame. But instead, just surprises everyone. Makes the best possible play in a rough sequence. But 50 going the other way. Lost. Jumps a little too soon. Felt the pressure of it all. And might have had an extra second to reposition. But you think that's just going in. And you try to make it. Get to the corner. Cannot. KCG Boost Goblins take the first game. Exciting fashion. Going to OT. But man, was it a close one. But Forbidden Temple is next. And Krusty has that logo on lock. But game 2 is here. And you fully expect SP Spectra come out aggressive, come out swinging. They did have a 1-goal lead for much. Then an own goal happened. And what a play from Flame. Rushing back. Not let that first goal fall in. But they're not out of the woods yet. I love having all the team logos in Twitch for sure. Although, don't you run out of room? Like, and what a play, Sprinkle. Yeah, that's the problem with what I had. So I said all or nothing. But KCG Boost Goblins, great pressure, and it continues. And they're just doing the small things right. 50, and again, you got that follow through quickly right after the 50. That's gonna get you far. And almost another kickoff setup. Rightly, but that one's low. Now Flame gonna have to watch a bump. Great pass, but off the mark. Bus trying to continue on. Flame there for the challenge. I think I have a total of 22 slots. I gotcha. Yeah, you got like the free ones and then the not free ones. So, but that means you have like no other thing. It's just only logos then, right? That's a problem I have. Just like, I can't give up some of my emotes that I have. But 2 up Boost Goblins. Lost Tempest trying to control, doing a good job by 1, avoiding the bump and trying to put a shot on, but Sprinkle, good job on defense. And Bus gets a nice touch around 1, and Lost almost sneakily gets it by, but just a constant battle at midfield. Who's gonna gain ground? And especially in moments like this, you like to see numbers advantage taking full advantage. You get that 2v1 bump attempt, but great play. That's also another key. You have a team venture too far forward, you get a nice outlet pass, and boom, they're pushed up too much. KCG Boost Goblins take a 3-0 lead, and honestly, surprising us. From game 1, it was a close game going to OT, and thought Spectra would maybe come out aggressive here, but KCG Boost Goblins really playing a solid game here. And again, you get those 50s going right, but finally we get a score bust on the board for Spectra. They needed this one. But as we were saying, the 50s going right and playing them well, and that's fundamentals. Okay, you got all of those. Gotcha. That's a good assortment. But Bus waking up here and looking lethal. Now cuts the lead. Only 1 goal difference, and it's a different story here. And bumping happen if Lost can get there, and what a play from Flame. Being off center, having to make a slight touch, or that's going in, but no boost, and being challenged again. However, that one bailed out, not going to be into the net. Sprinkle, a nice few touches, but not going to find the mark there. Flame trying to beat out, and now have to watch for Lost as he have another, but still able to make things slightly awkward. But it's been great pressure from Spectra in these last couple of minutes, and could find the mark. A little bit of space given could mean Spectra finds the net, but Bust, who's been very aggressive, takes us all the way back, maintains control, but bumped off, and Flame able to get a touch. But yeah, just lately, Boost Goblins have been playing a lot of defense, and a far cry from what we've seen from them throughout the game. But it's a tough spot to be in here. I mean, they are in the lead, but kind of playing passive, trying to hang on to that lead. I've seen momentum shift. But if you're too aggressive, then you might get scored on again. But great defense, especially holding on. KCG Boost Goblins, they are up 2-0. Like to know if you're lagging. We're giving you options here. Alright, well, no one can say we didn't try. We had a lagging player. We offered solutions. Because lagging does suck. It's unfortunate, but we can't just give a timeout just to give a timeout. It has to be a technical timeout. And so with that, we could change the server. That's more than allowed. Or if it's tech timeout, they gotta restart the game. And we'll allow that. But yeah, they have to play in. So we are going to watch. And this is Game 3. KCG Boost Goblins trying to close this out. Meanwhile, SP Spectra trying to get on the board. And flip reset. And nice bump, but Bust has to wait. Sprinkle, good possession here. And slow play actually almost resulted in a goal. You know, sometimes these players are so used to going 100 miles an hour, you slow it up, and that's working. And Bust also having possession, nice little flick, and yeah, it could be very underrated, just changing the pace on a team. But of course, it could backfire. You play too slow, and the other team just outpaces you. But on the other hand, they might rush everything if you slow it up. And Bust has a second goal, and quite the bounce back from SP. With their backs against the wall, Game 3 must win. And so far, they are looking to do that. But lost. No boost. In a rough spot. Sprinkle. Thought he had that lined up. Are you kidding me? What a play from Bust. And that is a key play. As once again, lost in a rough spot. Low boost. That shot goes forward. That's going to be a heck of a tough save. Instead, Bust has the boost to continue on and bring it all the way. So a strong performance from Bust, but an unfortunate touch from Loss as KCG able to get on the board. And what a play right there. And SP, if they could stop own goaling, the future is bright. But also Bust, an offensive demon right now. And gets the flip. Given a little space, makes KCG Boost Goblins pay. But they gain back that goal. Lost trying to find the moment to strike. Bust going high on the challenge. And Lost has an open net. Now you gotta start to question what's going on with KCG. Is it just an awkward game? I mean, sometimes you find yourself down and that's how it goes. But if I do recall, SP were up 2 in a previous game, and then KCG... Well, actually, it might have been 1-0, but... Yeah, I don't think they've faced a 2-goal deficit. But shot saved, and can't get the touch from Flame. And you gotta just consider this is chalked for KCG. Say, alright, well, this one not in our favor. We understand. And that that is evident right there. Sometimes you just gotta say, alright, well, this ain't our one. And I think they're fully aware of that, as we might have a Brazil on our hands. But Bust continues the offense. And we do have a Brazil. So, we know SP Spectra, they have the ability, although we do get 1 goal back for KCG. But Spectra, as we see from this game, they have the ability to put up points. They also have the ability to make some mistakes at times. But certainly if they could put games like this together, they have a chance in this one to bring it back. And looks like another goal. What a stat line for Bust. And KCG Boost Goblins definitely going forward are going to want to limit this player. But perhaps a full warm-up as well, knowing what you get into. And that could be dangerous. But we got 40 seconds left and almost a chance. Yeah, definitely like those 2v1 chances. Take full advantage. But there's Bust in front of net. And eclipses the 1,000-point mark. As a great pass with a little help. But trying interesting kickoffs, that's the time to do it, honestly. 25 seconds left. And it's again a nice bounce back from SP Spectra. And flip reset, trying to move it on. Bust trying to get another goal. Almost with low boost. Impressive. But Spectra on the board. As we are going to game 4. Now we're getting to interesting things here. Sovereign Heights is where we're going. Aqua Vash says, let's go KCG. Looking for that support as they are up 2-1, but Spectra gaining some momentum, had a very good game here, so we got some questions that are going to have to be answered. And looks like we're good to go. I'm sure car changes galore. You know how players can be but game 4 is here. SP Spectra once again back still against the wall, trying to force a game 5. And KCG Boost Goblins trying to close this one out. You definitely don't want to give this opposing team more momentum. They've shown what they could do offensively, especially when they're up. And that's going to be key for KCG Boost Goblins. Get that first goal. or at least not let this lead get out of hand. And Spectra, they scored 2 on the previous game and had that lead. But what a 50, and awkward 50s at that, but lost Tempest. Is able to follow through, and that just 1-2 combo. What a touch, making things awkward. But SP strike first, and now Boost Goblins, they're gonna need something here. Can they tie it up? Or does that lead expand for Spectra? Something they've done well. 50s. And also playing the advantage. And what a play. Flame Intruder. Hello. Welcome. And he's back to being alive here. What a individual effort right there. And if you're Boost Goblins, that's exactly what you like to see. A little spark. But Bust, low boost, trying to just get more momentum on that. You see what he's trying to do. Lost, providing pressure. But they got some crazy touches going. And this one might be a chance, but what a touch. That was looking like pure danger for Boost Goblins. They both double on a 50. And you figure Spectra only have to wait. And they can put it through, but heck of a recovery and ability to get it out. Flame, who's got the first goal for Boost Goblins in this one. Looking to try to add to it, but Bust in the air. Can he get bumped off? What a touch. It was almost out. But again, Bust in the air. Tough to play. And an individual effort. You gotta be careful. And right there, Flame booting him off. Had to go to the other caster stream. All good. You gotta command everything, and that is perfectly okay. A lot of stuff to keep track of, and that was almost going in. And 50'd out. They can sense it. Applying the pressure. That goal was on the verge. Sprinkle wisely using that time. Instead of hitting it, giving up possession, turns around. But now, Flame, you see Sprinkle off to the side. Great pass. And that's something that's gotten away from them. Passing plays. But Sprinkle just enough. Looking in an awkward spot. Flame can't get it by, but nice pop from Sprinkle, but Bust using that time to challenge instantly. Now Flame, just enough. Lost. Figured he'd have an open net. And Sprinkle, just a touch. That was almost tying up. But Lost instead coming the other way. Flip reset. High pop. And Bust a little far back, so it's not able to do much there. But wise decision to bump. And what a save from Flame. And can KCG Boost Goblins get numbers in their favor? They've had some chances, but there it is. Sprinkle. And there's the passing. Flame adds some sauce on that. And we are tied up 2-2. And this is huge. So now, next goal. As Bust threatening and just all over this one. just being a nuisance. Initial touch, a great follow through, rolling with the ball, and then making things awkward. Just has to get a light touch, has an open net, and regains a lead. Sprinkle trying to drop it low. But 20 seconds left. We might be going to game 5. Lost in the air. And Flame. Big challenge. But Bust is there. And Sprinkle. Flame. 2v1. Can you take Lost out? You can't. Lost. Great effort on defense. And we are going to game 5. Well, here we go. Game 5, Champions Field. Essentially, forget everything you've watched. Doesn't matter now. It just matters how you play in this one. And so far, a great setup and great opportunity. You see Boost Goblins had 2 on the left. Good closeout. Flame can just follow that through. And a huge first goal. And we know how important being in the lead early is in this series. But SP Spectra gonna try and tie it up. That's gonna be wide. Now Flame trying to take possession. Does get boost, but Lost beats out. An awkward challenge. I don't know about that one. Could leave Sprinkle in a rough spot, but instead does come out favorably. But coming back, and he wants a chance at that again. And Flame can't quite clear it. Sprinkle in a rough spot. Does get that boost. And that's going the other way. Bust trying to bring it up the wall. Does use momentum. Flip. And just almost broke our game. I don't know if you saw that. Little back and forth of the frames. But huge beat. This could be a scoring chance and awkward. And how do you read that? You don't. Lost actually has a great touch on this for the circumstance. And Spectra using that 2v1 advantage. Also big beat. But good back pass. Sprinkle trying to move it forward. But see the challenge come through. Sprinkle. Awkward. That might be on. And they can't get it to the corner. And if you're KCG Boost Goblins, you want that one back. You want a better chance at challenging. Instead, awkward challenge, awkward defender. But 2-1 lead from Spectra. And, you know, big things on the line here. They could potentially have a reverse sweep. No easy feat. They find themselves in the lead. Have played great when their backs have been against the wall. And Lost initial touch, but Flame wise to know only a flip reset is there. And that's another thing we haven't seen much from KCG. Haven't been able to get the demos, but big credit to Spectra. They've been quick to challenge, quick to turn things around, going the other way. How do you get the demos when you're being challenged instantly and pressured. But wide shot almost on. And lost, trying to split the gap. But Sprinkle still able to go to the air. And great follow through. And what do you do there when you're on defense? Sprinkle looks like he has another. Instead leaves it. And you don't even notice the player coming through for the shot. And that's why we say, like, those fakes in front of net can be so great. Because you have a strong shot coming through while you're looking at the player in the air. And what a turnaround. You see momentum shift, although bumping, let's say, and hope that doesn't result in a goal going against them. But shaking things up, dropping it down. Flame is backwards, though. Although, almost makes things awkward, and you could feel the tension here. You could feel every moment possibly leading to a goal. Big nerves. 2-2. Gotta be careful with every decision you make. And it seemed like Boost Goblins were knocking on the door. However, they're back on defense. And a moment in time where we're not seeing any action because the camera just broke. Second time in this game. Just staring at the wall. But Sprinkle cutting it off. And Boost wanted by Bust. I mean, hard to say that 10 times fast. But that's just going in. And what we've said plagues Boost Goblins, the challenging backwards, gonna be a problem. If you can't challenge facing the ball, facing the other net, you might have a rough time, and it's coming down to it. 20 seconds left. They gotta pull out some magic. A great pass, but Flame is not up. He had low boost. But certainly a good opportunity if possible. But Bust taking more time off. And 50 rolling. We have a last chance. An awkward ball to play. And SP Spectra, they pull it out in a reverse sweep. What a series. What an effort from them. As they take it in exciting fashion. Although tough loss for KCG. However, season is far from over. We're only in week 2. So you definitely want to keep an eye out on them. See how they bounce back in these coming weeks. But we had a 50-50 choice. However, if you chose SP Spectra, you are correct. W second cast in series. You the man, Belb. As always, thanks for the support. Also, thanks for the support from everyone watching. If you root on either team, very much appreciated. But that is going to do it for this other cast. I know they were on the verge of full sweeping, but sometimes you lose focus. Other team gets momentum. Momentum is a scary thing in Rocket League. But yeah, thanks Krusty hanging out, Aquavash as well, Belb, and anybody else. Say thanks again. But that's going to do it for this other cast. I think we're casted out. But I'll see you on the next one.